Welcome back to Out of the Rough. I'm with Michael Crain. Michael Crain is a frequent guest on our show. Smart Business Evolution.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about smart business strategies when it comes to operations.
Right.
Now, I know you've been traveling a lot. I've been looking at your Facebook, and you're traveling all over the country. What are you talking about? I'm excited to hear about what you're speaking about.
Well, don't stalk me anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, we've been under demand the last 6 months, and travel schedule has picked up. You know what it is business owners and executives and managers are desperately looking for a way to clean up their business operations and get back to where they once were. But they know that they need a strategy to get that done, and that's exactly what we help provide.
Cleaning up operations is critical because that's where the profit. That's where you don't want to leave any money on the table,
right? Because
people aren't spending like they were just 2-3 years ago.
No, you're right. And when they do spend the dollar, they want to make sure it really counts. So they want to make sure that your operation is really sound. They do an either or. I'm either going to do business here or that, and I'm going to choose the best one. And so you need to make sure that your operations are clean.
Yeah, great. Tell me about the 5 parts that you discuss in your trainings.
You know, I think the reason why so many people are asking for this document is because it's commonsensical yet relevant. It's not a 78-page business plan that often gets put in a 3-ring binder that never really gets used, nor is it just some flippant piece of paper or document. It's a strategy, and the first part is the soul of your company. And again, it's commonsensical, Fred, but there's a lot of companies out there that don't have a clear identity exactly what they're after or what they're going to do. So the soul helps clean that up, and it's got some components to it. First, we just ask them, what do you do? And you'll be surprised how many people stumble on that. Then we ask them, why do you do this? And now,
the why.
The why is important. Now, here's what a lot of times you'll find somebody will answer that question by telling you, well, we like helping people, we like making money, but they really don't articulate really well, that was tough for me, why they're in the specific field. Why did they choose this trade? And once they have clarity of purpose with that, it's amazing what they'll do with the rest of the company. But they really need to clean that up and understand what it really is all about.
And what is the soul? And also, what is a culture, soul? What is it all about?
Well, that's just it. What we're trying to do is get them to truly understand who they are. What do you do? Why do you do it? Who do you do it for? And then what's your 5 core operating beliefs? And we try to help people understand. Try not to go with, well, we're about honesty and integrity. That should be a given. You shouldn't even be in business if you don't have that. But what are the 5 core operating beliefs that you have that govern every action? Like for us at Smart Business Evolution, 3 of them are that we always are eager, able, and happy to help. So everything we do is contrasted to those 3 main points. Do we display that we're eager, that we're able, we're competent, and are we happy? Do we let our clients know that we're thrilled to help them and we know that they have a choice and they chose us, and we want to respect that.
I love that. A measurement.
Measurement. Well,
you're big on measuring.
Well, I am, but I am. It's all about common sense measurement. You have to measure the right things. But first, you know who you are, the soul. Then we get to the measurement. How do we make sure that we know that we're making progress? And I will tell you this: it's heavy on behavior. So the measurements that we use are really centered on the behaviors that it takes to create greater advocacy. It's the behaviors that it takes to increase revenues and cut down cost. It's the behaviors. Now, you could probably create a list of 20 or 30, but we get to 5 core essential measurements. And we help people understand what are the top 5 that you really need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Activity.
Right. Well, you know who you are through the soul of your company. You know what you're measuring. But now, how are we going to make progress? Well, making sure that we're engaged in the right activity. So we help them understand what are the top 10 things that they need to be engaged in order to achieve the next 3 months objectives. And then we help them continue to carry that on the next 6 months and year, and then 3 to 5 years. But we really help define what are the key activities, and more importantly than that, who's responsible for getting that done and by when. And I know this seems very commonsensical, but you'd be surprised how many times you walk into a company and they don't have these systems in place.
Yeah, great. And it really breaks it down simply. And I think that simple is good. Risk and threats.
Yeah, you know, that's really easy, Fred. It's just, it helps us identify the 3 top risks that you need to take. What are the 3 things that you need to do that are going to step you outside of your comfort zone? Are you willing to do it? When are you going to do it? And then, of course, the threats. What are the competitors doing to you? What's the shift in the market? You need to pay attention to those as well.
Would you agree with me that in business, it's okay to take little chances, little risks.
Oh, I highly recommend
You don't want to maybe jump off the cliff, but
You
maybe
may want to.
Well, if you got to change things.
Yeah.
But looking at just little risks.
Yes.
So, don't go way out on a limb, but start going after different verticals.
Well, you got to do something different, right? And sometimes it's taking a risk and understand, hey, we tried this, and now we realize that probably didn't work quite as well as we want to, but we're going to take another risk and go in this direction. But you have to do something different. Otherwise, the definition of insanity. You continue to do the same thing, you'll get the same results. Right.
Same results. Trophies.
Yeah, that's easy, Fred. In an economy where we have tightening margins, it's very easy to lose the zest for your business, right? And what we want to do is help our business owners and their employees understand that it's important to celebrate. Now, there's different scales of that. Sometimes it's just a day or two off, or maybe it's an all-out cruise, but making sure that you're claiming out loud, hey, when we hit this mark, when we accomplish this key objective, we're going to do this. Announce it. Let your people know. I just had a conversation with a great business owner here in Santa Clarita, and she wants to take her team on a cruise. And she's going to do that through driving revenues and cost, two separate cruises. One that's a local 3-day cruise, another one that's 7-day. But she's going to make that claim known. Now, tell me the employees are not going to get it.
They're motivated.
About that. Yeah. But it does build a sense of camaraderie.
And they're going for a common goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're excited about it. But I will say, ask your employees what excites them too.
Absolutely.
Because what excites you might not excite them.
Yep, you're right.
Love it, love it. So 5 parts to creating great operations. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Michael Crain, Smart Business Evolution and Smart Business Strategies, how to build smarter strategies around operations.
Right.
Good stuff. We're going to jump to a quick break, but when we come back, I got Brian Kegley with Pool and Shaftry. Perfect. Thank you. Good job. See how simple that was with my basic.